Well, this is your third Sip-isode brought to you by Bud Light Seltzer. And Bud Light Seltzer has launched their limited edition, it's always limited edition, got to keep it special, tie-dye variety pack. These are retro flavors helping you bring the good vibes wherever you go. Their retro summer pack. Blue raspberry, summer ice, cherry limeade. Those are the flavors of summer, okay? A lot of citrus, a lot of blueberries, but it's not a blueberry. It's a berry that happens to be blue. These are the flavors of your childhood, right? Doesn't it just remind you of eating a bomb pop in your parents' back seat, making a mess everywhere, and your mom's like, "You better not make a mess." And you're like, "This seatbelt's hot." Fans can also purchase these new flavors with the Bud Light Seltzer Retro Summer Icicles. And you want to know my hack? I take a Bud Light Seltzer Retro Summer Icicle in blue raspberry, and I dip it in my Bud Light Seltzer Cherry Limeade. It's a frozen treat. I can crunch on it. I can sip it. You get a nice little buzz, and you enjoy, as Bud Light Seltzer likes to say, the good vibes.
You know what's nice about these new flavors is that you don't have to, I can't chase down an ice cream truck anymore. It would be undignified.
Is that why?
I just, if I'm in my house and I hear it outside, I'm not going to get up, put on my shoes, go outside, try to find it, chase it down. Like it's too,
how did anyone ever get them before?
I was at a park the other day, an ice cream truck slowly drove by, kids go, "Mom, can I have some money?"
Yeah.
It didn't stop. It just kept going.
I think there was a different objective. I think something nefarious was at foot.
It felt like a prank.
They're like, throw the net. Scoop them up.
But this brings that feeling to the home.
That cherry limeade. I love cherry limeades.
Yeah.
I love a cherry limeade. I got a thing about good ice, but I do. It's refreshing. It's tart. You want tart in the summer.
So in honor of the retro summer theme, we are going to revisit some questions from past episodes that we answered and see if you have a new answer.
Oh, I bet you I don't.
You know what's great? You
woke.
don't. But we found some that we can add on to. So from our very first episode, May Nip, our first Just Us.
Wait, can I just say something?
Yeah.
Sometimes I listen to our podcast, and by sometimes I mean all the time. And I was home alone the other day, and I was like, please don't let someone break in and murder me while I'm listening to my own podcast. But I listen to see how I come off. Did I listen? Whatever. Quality assurance. And sometimes people ask a question, and I find myself being like, no. And then on the podcast, I'll be like, no. Like I always.
You are pretty steady course. Yeah. You are. But there are a few I think we can update because
let's see.
In October of 2018.
Do you think this COVID thing's a big deal? I'm like, no, sneeze it off.
October of 2018, Donnie Baker for real said, "I feel that dinner and a movie is such a first date cliche. What's a good first date a guy can take a girl on that's not going to break the bank?"
First of all, that is so tacky.
That's exactly the last time. Also, I had said, well, what about a guy and a girl, a girl? You were like, let's stick with this question. So here's
because I can only really advise as a cisgender, heterosexual, heteronormative woman, don't break up. You don't have to break. No one's like, I expect lobster and a diamond douche.
No, but I think now the dating situation is so very different. What you can do, you should go outside, et cetera, et cetera. So now in these times, where should people be meeting with each other?
Look, here's the thing. It's a first date. You're sniffing each other out. My mother would tell you, get a coffee. That way there's no alcohol and you're not going to spend a ton of money because coffee's less expensive. I don't think it has to be dinner. I honestly think you can start with a drink. Are you liking each other? Get some apps, get a dinner, see where the night takes you. There shouldn't be a commitment to having to spend an hour and a half with someone if you're not loving it. If you're both loving it, then you'll find things to do. No one's like, I've got to go. I love you so much. I only have an hour and there's no way I can extend it. There's no way I blocked off this time. So going outside, here's the thing, you don't want to come off as cheap. That's the other thing. You don't want to be like, I took her to Shakespeare in the Park and we fed the ducks.
But that sounds nice.
Yeah, just so what? You're supposed to be getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And I shame on the girls that are like, I just want a free dinner. A friend of mine was telling me how he went out with a girl like that recently and like it really made him feel bad.
Yeah.
Yes, being a girl is expensive, but like don't put a price on yourself just for the free dinner.
Yeah.
Come on. Don't be tacky.
Did you see that viral tweet that guy's like $6,000 bill and he's like, men, if you can't afford this when you go out, you shouldn't be taking ladies out.
Reinforcing
like,
just the weird expectations for men. Like, no, you should be, what you are expected is to show up, try to be interested, even splitting it's okay, whatever. You're talking about things that won't break the bank. A movie doesn't break the bank, but you're not talking to each other. You know what doesn't break the bank? Coming to see Iliza. Tickets can be, affordable. They won't be
I
in
don't
the
think
front.
that's a good first date.
People, shut up. Going to a dog park, if one of you is a dog, going to a dog petting exhibit, a museum. What kind of a dork are you?
There are always a lot of free museums, and places always have free days. Like there are always like days where a city will be doing free museums or free theater or free whatever.
You know what will impress a girl always? On our first date, I told Noah, I was like, there's this documentary I want to see. He's like, I got tickets. Like, done. If she drops any hint like, oh, there's a new thing, she probably won't. She's probably adult, but still. She's like, oh, there's a new exhibit at the Mocha. Got him, got tickets. Whatever she says, let's go do it.
What, do you remember what the documentary is? Because I do.
Tickled. Yeah. Take her axe throwing or gun shooting just to see what she's really made of. Hope that axe doesn't bounce back. I've seen that viral video.
I want to do archery. I was good as a child.
Fellas, hope you're listening. That's hot. I was good as a child.
I was good at archery as a child.
Picnic is too romantic.
Yeah, picnic is intense, but I think if you get a coffee somewhere where you can walk around outside.
Here's something you don't want. My friend went on a hike once with a guy, and she thought it was going to be like a walk, and it was like uphill on dirt. And she's like, this is not hot. Like, I don't look cute. Remember, you're supposed to be trying to fuck each other. Remember that.
How do you feel about...
Sorry, Bud Light Seltzer.
Something I saw on Reddit that I was like, oh no. A girl said, I went on a first date with a guy, and I never saw him again because he ordered a Coke and drank 3 to 4 full Cokes. He got it refilled 3 times and I just couldn't see him again.
But that's because he's in recovery.
Do you think that's what it is?
And I only know this from living in LA, and it's just a lot of people who have given up alcohol like sugar. And I know that when I've like cut out drinking, I definitely eat a lot more sugar. So it's a little harsh that you judged him, but also that he didn't tell you. But other than my stepfather, who will have 1 full Coca-Cola at every dinner for the rest of his life, he also doesn't drink. You know what? He's not in recovery. He just doesn't drink. Okay.
But that's me. Like if I would probably keep it to 2 and then switch to water. I'm not going to be like, can I have a third in a first date?
He could have been nervous. He could have just been.
I'm a nervous sipper.
You love Coca-Cola. Actually, that sounds like your soulmate.
I know. I need to find that man.
Ask that girl who he was.
I'm going to go on Reddit and be like, that man who drank 4 Cokes.
Yeah.
Who was he?
Can I get a social security number for romance?
Do you remember Craigslist misconnections?
Oh my God. Some of those are just still dangling out there in cyberspace.
Did you ever I'd be like, I wonder if anyone saw me at the IKEA today.
I always thought they were all lies. Like I always thought it was like weird fetish code. Like you were in yellow. You made a left turn. Like what is that really signaling?
What's going on there?
Everybody's creepy.
So go on Craigslist for your first date. Perfect.
See how many roses they'll pay you. 15 roses for a lady to come over and wear my belt. Remember that? Do you remember that? No. Well, they would solicit prostitution.
But
it would be like
roses are like code for money.
Right. Each rose is $1. But there'd be weird things like, I don't want any sex, just come over and like wear my grandmother's shoes and stomp around. Like stuff where you're kind of like, I guess I could do that.
There's a lot of posts that are like, hey, I'm looking for a roommate. Must be attractive female between 18 and 25. Rent will be cheap, but must spend 1 hour of family time with me in the living room every night.
1,000%. You're not even joking. When I moved to LA and I was like trying to find my apartment. So this was like, I'd spent a semester here for school, and then I had to find an apartment. So it was like 2004 or 2005. You go on Craigslist to find, and it worked. Like I found girls and it was totally cool. I even had a guy from my school. Like I just wanted someone cool. It didn't fucking matter. And I read one and it was like, I went on a couple of like auditions for roommates. One was like these girls who had like an apartment in Westwood, and they had like put up a shower curtain for part of the living room. Ooh. I'm like, nice try. That's not a room. I was like, nice scam, you brats. And then this one guy was like, must be attractive. You cannot have a boyfriend. And I was just like, what is that?
I went to a guest house, God knows where, when I was looking at apartments here with my mom. I had horrific food poisoning, but my mom like couldn't drive in the hills. She was very scared. So I was driving, like trying not to vomit as we get there. And it
Why
was
did
like,
you stay home?
Because we were here
for that.
We had flown out from Atlanta to look at places before I moved here. And I just remember it was like this weird old man. He's like, you'll be here, but I'll be here and you can go in the pool, whatever. And I'm like, okay,
like,
what's happening here? And he's like, oh, the other thing was the gate closes at like 9 p.m. And if you're not here, you can't get in.
Ew.
Like, what?
It's like, I'm giving you money. People, I don't know if it's like that in other cities, but LA already has such weirdo, insecure creepos. Usually they just like make a home somewhere on like Fountain in like a garage nook or in the hills. in like a donkey gold panning shack. But yeah.
That's kind of what this was, but it was like.
That's like the barrier to entry is like weird Craigslist.
Yeah.
And you find another girl and you just live together.
That's the real throwback. The real retro summer is thinking about Craigslist.
Yeah. Bud Light Seltzer's like, we're not going to do a collab.
With Craigslist?
Do you want to be murdered while drinking our beverage?
Kick it.
I hope me talking about it gets your mouth watering because Bud Light Seltzer does a really good job of bringing you like really creative, inventive flavors. And I was like, what are they going to do this summer? They already did lemonade. They already did iced tea. Now they got that retro summer pack. And I, as an elder millennial, really appreciate the retro summer flavors. Blue raspberry, summer ice, and cherry limeade. These flavors are great because they remind you of childhood drinks. They remind you of childhood ice cream flavors. And Bud Light Seltzer had the thought to put them in icicle form, which I think is great. We don't get enough alcoholic ice treats as adults. So you can bring them. They'll be a hit at the family barbecue. Just make sure there's no children around. You can grab some friends, play some tunes, and enjoy the vibes with the Bud Light Seltzer Retro Summer Pack. Tasty flavors. You can get it delivered right to your door. Find a retailer near you at budlight.com/delivery, or you can pick it up at your local grocery store, convenience store, or hey, even a liquor store. Bud Light Seltzer.
I think it's hard now that we're adults. There's not that summer feeling in the same way of like,
sitting at a desk at 4 p.m. on a Saturday isn't your...
I mean, but it just like you don't have that like now it's summer. Now I get to go in the pool. Now I get to like every day meet up with my friends, have a popsicle. So I like that there's like the delineation of seasons is now coming from Bud Light Seltzer.
It lets you know, hey, it's summer. It's a taste cue. It's an olfactory cue. Sometimes when I smell sunscreen, I'm like, I gotta get to the pool. And the only time I really feel it's summer is if I go out into my own backyard with a beverage. Other than that, I'm like, I just got to finish this document. I just got to finish this. I got to keep earning my place. Emily and I were sitting here on a Saturday because we had to do a tech check for press. It's 4:00. We're in my dark office.
Just thinking about.
In a Bud Light Seltzer t-shirt. But
I mean, they cut a great tank top.
You guys, I don't
think anyone else can get one besides you because you're an influencer.
Bud Light Seltzer. If not for the drinks, for the garments. And a clothing company for the people.
Number one apparel brand.
Number one apparel brand in this office.
So we're going to get summary with another question. I live in a state that is inundated with cicadas. And then they put in parentheses, insect.
You know what a cicada is? They go like...
Yeah, it's gross.
It's like a locust.
They're creepy.
They're very southern.
They are. Yeah. Now that it's 90 degrees plus, their noise is so loud you can hear it inside the house with the windows closed over the hum of the AC. So as I'm reading this question, I'm thinking, they're going to ask about like noise canceling headphones.
Yeah.
No, their summer question goes as follows. What do you think of the food trend of eating cicadas? Would you try them? And if so, what preparation? Savory? Chocolate covered? I want to be a definite no on eating them because bugs, but apparently eating them is environmentally friendly.
Yeah, eating bugs, it's a really good source of protein. It's sort of the like very slow approaching wave of the future. Eating bugs for protein is super sustainable. Very high in protein. That's pretty much all I know. It's one of those things that I would probably come around on if like enough people started doing it and I tried it. So I guess I do chocolate because I don't know if I'd want to taste it.
Yeah.
That being said, like if it's clean and it's fine, they're probably just nutty. I've heard that like mealworms are nutty too. So it wouldn't be my like go-to. I'd rather eat like normal candy.
But you're a pretty open eater. Like if somebody offers you something, you were very into durian for a minute.
Yeah, because that was fun to watch people's faces go. But
I feel like someone offers you something interesting that you haven't had before, you're going to try it.
Probably. I mean, I don't want to eat. There's certain meats I won't eat. I don't eat red meat anymore. I'm set in my ways, but within those ways, I'll eat your thing. I'm not like a fourth grader. Like I'll eat adult food and veggies. I'm just seeing you like at night going out with like a mini harpoon, just like poaching cicadas, and you like. I think it's more vengeful for you than anything else.
I mean, as a kid, I don't remember anything more exciting than, when you're a kid, you find a roly-poly, pumped. You find a cicada shell, pumped.
Yeah, the shells are cool. For those of you that don't know, they molt and they leave behind like a full cicada. It's completely hollow. It's just the skin. It's hard to find a full one intact and they're usually like attached to a tree. I don't know what it becomes. It's almost like it just gets like it stays the same shape.
Yeah,
It
I
just
don't
gets
think
rid
it
of
like transforms.
like a snake.
Have I told you my very sad snake skin story?
I'm cool. I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you. That's the question. I would eat whatever. I wouldn't. You know what you don't want to be is the person who makes a really big deal about what they don't do, about what they don't eat. Like girls that are like, ew, oh, I can't. It's like, okay, you got your attention.
Yeah.
You're dainty. Like if you're a vegan and someone puts a bloody steak, I understand like having a visceral reaction. But you get people that just like their whole identity is like what they don't eat and what grosses them out. It's like, just shut up. Either eat it or don't.
Yeah.
That being said, like if I don't want to eat something, it's not because I don't like your culture. Sometimes I just don't want to eat something. Most people should not eat American food. It's very bad for you.
That's the thing is you find out from other countries, they're like, your bread's too sweet. This, and I'm like,
God.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
People come here and they think our chocolate is too milky. We use too much corn syrup. Our things are too sweet. And we're just like from like a puffed up neck missing a foot. Like, what are you talking about? We're fine, huh?
This is going great for us.
This is good. All of our fruit is uniform in the same color. It's totally normal to have all tomatoes be bright red in the same shape. I think a lot of people right now are like, what? Yep, not normal. All of our fruits and vegetables to be perfect, not normal. That's a whole other
Spraying
rant.
them with stuff. I do love watching the videos of food dressing for sets where they'll show how they make it.
Glue and cereals.
Yeah, and it's like they'll burn something or it's like it's shaving cream.
Here's a question.
It's,
when you watch like a burger commercial, like for a fast food place, they always like throw the meat. It's always like a burger colliding with barbecue sauce. And I remember one time Noah was like, why is the hamburger in the air? Like, why is the shrimp flying?
There's a GIF that I used to see on Reddit all the time of a cup showing like I think an iced coffee being poured into a cup. And in the video, it's like flips around. And so then it pulls out and you see that like the cup's on a thing that's going like this, a pourer is on a thing that's going, and it just is like a machine that was built for this purpose.
Right.
And just in the frame, you see like it pour out of thin air.
Takes a lot to get that airborne coffee. Takes a lot to get your food midair.
Yeah.
To make it look appealing.
So I'll be building us a machine for our Bud Light Seltzer to fling it at us into our mouths.
Great. That's not
Make it easy. You could go float out into the pool. I'll just water gun you.
Bud Light's totally going to endorse that. A machine that flings it at you.
A machine. Not the
Summer's
whole
here.
can.
Time to fling. That's it for a Sip-isode. You know, we release these on Fridays because we gave you an episode Wednesday, so you're just now stopping laughing from that Wednesday. And this is like a nice little boost going into the summer and also to encourage you to get that Bud Light Seltzer Retro Summer Pack. You can go out right now. You're probably listening to this on the way to work. You can pick one up on the way home, and you can be the hero of your backyard get-together, your porch hang, your cul-de-sac, even your balcony, and it's just you. Go get it, get some good vibes going, and get those tasty summer, I almost said fragrances, summer flavors in your mouth.